Hi everyone, thanks for joining us. My name is Jason Robinson. I'm a Project Development Director for AURI. And today we are going to talk about a new tool that we have available on our website, a go-to-market pricing guidebook for food products. The purpose of this webinar is to introduce this new tool, why it is important, and how you can effectively use it. But first, let me spend a minute introducing you to the sponsors of this tool's creation, the Agricultural Utilization Research Institute. The Agricultural Utilization Research Institute, or AURI, is a mission-based nonprofit corporation focused on fostering long-term economic benefit for the state of Minnesota through value-added agricultural products. We support the value-added agricultural innovation ecosystem by providing services and resources to assist our clients in developing their innovations and by conducting industry initiatives to fill information gaps that are available for public use. In this instance, we partnered with Pricing Innovations to develop a guidebook focused on developing effective food product pricing strategies for the reason to fill an information gap that we saw available for public use. This guidebook and our contact information is located at www.auri.org. So to get started, let me introduce our guest speaker today, Esra Kuchukchivchi, the CEO and founder of Pricing Innovations. Esra, go ahead and take it away.
Hi, Jason. Thank you for having me here. I am very honored and pleased to be part of your initiative to support our local food community here in Minnesota, particularly food entrepreneurs. Just to give a bit of a background about myself as it relates to food, I started my career in chemical engineering and worked in production and manufacturing facilities for about 6-7 years. And my very last role in engineering was actually a small batch operation, very similar to food manufacturing, recipes and packaging and labeling and everything else. And right after my engineering years, I went to the University of Minnesota and received my MBA degree. And following my MBA degree, I moved to Seattle as a senior product manager for Amazon. I could not stay away too long. I love Minnesota, and so I ended up coming back and working in technology for a few more years. And just 3 years ago, I founded Pricing Innovations. Pricing Innovations is a product consultancy focusing on pricing and monetizing primarily new products. And while we started with pricing and monetization strategy for new products, very quickly the practice actually turned into innovations in pricing monetization as it relates to how pricing and monetization can fuel your growth strategy and how it can help you execute your growth strategy. So in that context, this is how we developed this guidebook for food entrepreneurs in our local economy. So primarily what we're talking about today is developing new food products and the factors that influence your success rates. What do you need to think about in terms of developing new food products? Launching your food business. Where do you begin? Because this is kind of the most important question or the most frequent question that we hear from food entrepreneurs all the time. How about scaling? What does it take? What factors do you need to consider for scaling your food business? And finally, what does it take to make it in the market? Because be it a nonprofit company, for-profit company, all the companies, number one goal for all the companies is to continue doing what you set out to do. What does it take to make it in the market? So those are the things that we're talking about in this guidebook. And this guidebook was designed as a reference resource, more than anything, for food entrepreneurs to come back to, for making informed decisions for any of these stages, either developing or launching or scaling or really considering where the next phase of growth is going to come from. So in our work as a product and monetization consultancy, what we've uncovered is that your go-to-market and growth strategies are as good as the questions you're asking. And in most cases, each particular space requires a different approach to asking questions. In other words, you have to formulate the key business questions for the specific needs and dynamics of the space. That's the reason why we designed the guidebook as a resource for asking the right questions. In each of the sections, we first introduce the fundamental go-to-market principles as it relates to each topic, such as your channel strategy, your testing and validation, so on and so forth. We then ask 5 to 10 questions for you to consider for your own business about that particular topic. Specifically for food entrepreneurs, we also develop these sections called Food for Thought to exemplify how a fundamental go-to-market concept can be applied in food. During our research for this guidebook for AURI, we talked to various food entrepreneurs. We talked to big box buyers, food product developers, brokers, investors, and we also included their wisdom in this report. The examples they gave were actually exceptional. They were very applicable to what we were talking about, and we put their examples and we placed them in each of these sections. Finally, we learned that the whole concept of cost modeling and understanding the overall cost of goods sold is especially challenging in small food businesses. Therefore, we have included a couple Excel models that are available for you to download with the Pricing and Go-to-Market Guidebook. You can most certainly take advantage of these sample Excel models and modify them to fit your own business needs. So, let's begin. Well, where do we begin? Turns out it depends. As we work with small businesses and growth ventures, we observe that most often the biggest challenge is to figure out where actionable growth will come from. Especially in food businesses, this equation is very complex when you think about all the options: selling in new and different channels, expanding your product line, changing your pricing, introducing alternative packaging options, enhancing your brand, running promotions and marketing campaigns, getting into different distribution agreements, negotiating a better co-manufacturing deal. Your options are endless, and it makes it very, very complex. Growth might come from many strategic and tactical moves, and in most cases, a combination of these things. So with our work with AURI, we wanted to introduce food entrepreneurs with a disciplined approach to asking the right questions and scenario testing these options more than anything. So let's get to our original question. Where do we begin? More specifically, where will growth actually come from? On which activities should you focus on to grow your business? Well, to that end, in general, for businesses of all types, growth comes in one of 4 ways. You can either introduce or launch a new offering, you can expand into new channels, or you can scale your offering, you can improve your margins, or you can capture market share. So in general, your growth strategy will fit into one of these, and sometimes multiple of them. But the key is to try to not do all at once. So this whole framework that we're presenting in this guidebook, which you can find in the first section, actually gives you a really good opportunity to look at your options in terms of where growth will come from, and it enables you to focus on certain key structures of your business so that you actually don't have to focus on optimizing every key structure of your business. You can use this guidebook and specifically the pricing canvas and determine your own go-to-market and growth path. The pricing canvas gives you an opportunity to communicate your plan all in one page, so it makes it easier to discuss with your colleagues, brokers, buyers, and investors, and all the other important stakeholders. As for our last slide, let's say your growth strategy is introducing and launching a new offering. Then you can primarily focus on answering the questions on the following 4 sections: your business strategy, your product and brand strategy, competitive value profile, and partners in distribution. We're not necessarily saying that do not focus on other sections. You actually have to figure out how the other parts of your key structures will fit into your growth plan. However, since we asked the original question about where to begin, these 4 sections on the pricing canvas are the sections where you would begin. And just to put pricing canvas in context, many of you might be familiar with the business model canvas already and the value proposition canvas. The business model canvas helps you to understand whether or not you have a good business idea. Value proposition canvas helps you to figure out whether or not you have a good enough product idea that is sufficiently differentiated. But neither of these tools actually were asking the right questions about how you will execute your strategy and actually make money. So we developed the pricing canvas to focus on how your key structures, key aspects of your business will help you convert your business strategy into revenue. There is a blank pricing canvas inside your guidebook, and you can print and start working on your go-to-market and growth strategy using that canvas today. All right, let's dive in, shall we? What does it take to make it in the market? Well, probably the most important key takeaway is this. You have to start with the value that you deliver to a customer and the worth of that value, the price. Unlike what most food entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs in general think, rather than determining your cost and adding an acceptable margin on top of that cost, we actually have to turn that thinking around. We have to develop what we can sell, and we have to align our cost structure to meet our price, not the other way around. In food, where most decisions are contextual and relational for a customer, you have to determine the price that you can charge first, and then develop the offering to meet that pricing requirements with the most favorable cost structure. The goals around your cost structure will actually force you to be more diligent about your production costs, your partnership contracts, margins of each channel decisions, and packaging, and so on and so forth. So you should always align your cost structure to meet what you can price.